If you're an older man and you masturbate, what I'm about to share might surprise you. It may even make you uncomfortable. But I speak these words from a place of deep care, not from judgment. I've seen the faces of men who thought everything was fine until it wasn't. They came to me confused, tired, and disconnected, not knowing why their spark was fading or why they didn't feel like themselves anymore. I'm Dr. Sara. For over 30 years, I've worked as a physician specializing in men's health and vitality. I've sat with thousands of men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s. Men who were strong, intelligent, successful, but still quietly struggling with their bodies, minds, and relationships. The truth is, no one ever taught them how to navigate sexual health as they age. And no one ever told them that something as natural as masturbation, if not practiced with awareness, could slowly chip away at their confidence, connection, and control. That doesn't mean self-pleasure is bad. In fact, when approached wisely, it can support circulation, mental clarity, and even hormone balance. But without mindfulness, it can also become a quiet threat. A habit that numbs emotion, dulls pleasure, and isolates you from real intimacy. The key isn't whether you do it, but how and why. In this message, I want to share with you 7 deeply important truths. These are truths every man over 60 needs to hear. Truths that could mean the difference between silent decline and powerful renewal. Because this conversation isn't about shame, it's about strength, not weakness, but wisdom. Let's begin. What happens to your body after 60 that no one talks about? Many men come to me asking the same question. Is this normal? Am I losing my edge? And the answer is, yes, it's normal, but that doesn't mean you're powerless. After 60, your body begins to change in quiet, subtle ways. Your testosterone, the hormone responsible for libido, energy, muscle tone, and confidence, starts to decline. It doesn't happen overnight, but it's steady, like a light slowly dimming. You may notice that it takes longer to get aroused. Your energy feels flatter. Your drive isn't what it used to be. This isn't a sign of failure, it's biology. Your body is asking for a new kind of care, one that honors its changing rhythms. What most men don't realize is that erections, sensitivity, and even desire aren't just about hormones. They're about circulation, muscle health, and nerve response. The tissue in your penis needs healthy blood flow, just like your heart or brain. And just like any muscle, it weakens if not used properly. Mindful masturbation, done slowly, gently, with full awareness, can actually help preserve that function. It's not shameful. It's self-care. But the moment it becomes a habit of escape, rushed and unconscious, it begins to do more harm than good. When a natural habit quietly turns into a problem, one of the hardest things men admit to me is that what once brought them relief now makes them feel more alone. They'll say, I thought this was good for me. So why do I feel more tired, more isolated, and somehow less like a man? It's because the behavior has shifted. It's no longer a conscious act of release, it's become a reflex, something done to fill time, distract from stress, or avoid discomfort. That's when a healthy habit turns into a subtle trap. The truth is, masturbation in moderation with awareness is not harmful. But when it becomes an automatic escape, a way to avoid loneliness, anxiety, or boredom, it begins to replace the very things you need most: connection, touch, purpose. I've seen men who couldn't sleep without it, who couldn't focus until they'd gotten it out of the way. It becomes compulsive. And over time, it begins to affect your energy, your emotions, and even your brain chemistry. That's when the risks start to outweigh the benefits. The physical toll you might be ignoring. One of the most painful things I hear from older men is this: I can't feel the same anymore. It's like my body forgot how to respond. And they say it with shame as if they're to blame, but they're not. What's happening is subtle but real. When you stimulate yourself frequently with high pressure, fast motion, or visual overstimulation like porn, your nervous system adapts. You become desensitized. You lose touch with the nuances of pleasure. You need more to feel less. Over time, the sensitive nerve endings in your penis become dulled. The erectile tissue, which depends on smooth muscle tone and blood flow, starts to weaken. Erections become softer, shorter. And because of embarrassment or fear of failure, you may start avoiding intimacy altogether. Your pelvic floor, the group of muscles that support erections and bladder control, can also suffer. especially if you're always sitting hunched tense. These muscles need relaxation and variety, not repetitive tension. All of this adds up, not to a disaster, but to a gradual fading of something sacred. The good news, it can be restored. But first, we must face the emotional side of this pattern. 4. The emotional impact that no one warns you about. Many men don't turn to masturbation for pleasure. They turn to it for relief from loneliness, boredom, anxiety, or even grief. At first it works. You feel calm for a few moments, a sense of control.
What you speak is
but
more
soon
important
after
than how fast you
comes
speak.
the silence,
Laws
the
that can
emptiness,
change how you work and
the
live
realization that
6
nothing in your
smoothies.
world
What you
has
speak
really
is more
changed.
important than how
The
fast
same
you
ache
speak.
is still there, and that's when the emotional
Laws that
cost
can
becomes
change
clear.
how you work and live 6
When we use
smoothies.
masturbation as
What you
emotional
speak is more
anesthesia,
important
we
than how
create a loop.
fast you speak.
Instead of connecting with
Laws
others,
that
we
can
disconnect.
change how you work
Instead
and
of
live
facing
6
our feelings,
smoothies.
we
What
bury
you speak
them.
is more important than how fast
Over time,
you speak.
your world shrinks.
Laws that can
You stop
change
reaching
how
out
you
to
work
friends.
and live 6
You pull away
smoothies.
from your spouse.
What you speak is
You
more
lose
important
interest in
than how
hobbies,
fast
in
you
church,
speak.
even in family.
Laws that
Not
can
because
change
you don't
how
care,
you work and
but
live
because
6
something
smoothies.
inside you feels
What you
numb.
speak is more
And the
important
very
than how
act meant
fast
to
you
bring
speak.
relief feeds the
Laws that can
isolation
change
instead.
how you work
This
and
is more
live 6
common than most
smoothies.
men will ever
What you
admit.
speak is more
But it doesn't
important
make
than
you
how
broken.
fast
It
you
makes you
speak.
human, and it means you're ready for
Laws that can
change.
change how you work and live
The
6
warning
smoothies.
signs. Your
What
body
you
is already
speak is
showing
more
you.
important than how fast you
If
speak.
you've been feeling drained after
Laws that can
masturbation,
change how you
if your
work
climax
and live
feels
6
dull or your
smoothies.
erections aren't
What you
as strong,
speak is more
those are not
important than how
random
fast you
signs.
speak.
Your body is
Laws
speaking.
that can
A
change
drop in
how you work
sensitivity.
and live 6 smoothies.
A feeling of
What you
hollowness
speak
instead
is
of
more important than how
satisfaction.
fast you speak.
Needing more intense stimulation
Laws
to
that can
achieve the
change
same
how
result.
you work and
Feeling
live 6
disconnected from your
smoothies.
body,
What you
your
speak is more
emotions, or your
important than how
partner.
fast you
These are
speak.
red flags, not of dysfunction,
Laws
but
that
of
can
imbalance.
change how you work
Ask
and
yourself,
live 6 smoothies.
am I using this
What
habit
you
to
speak
connect
is
with
more
myself
important than
or
how
to
fast
escape
you
from
speak.
something? Does it leave me
Laws
energized
that
or
can
empty?
change how you work and
Does
live
it help
6
me feel more
smoothies.
whole or more
What
alone?
you speak is more
These are the
important than how
questions that
fast you
begin the
speak.
healing process.
Laws that
Because
can
the
change
truth
how
is,
you
you don't
work
need to
and
stop
live
being
6
sexual. You
smoothies.
just need to
What
start
you
being
speak is more
intentional.
important than how
How to
fast you
reclaim
speak.
control, sensation,
Laws
and
that can
confidence.
change
Here's the
how
good
you
news.
work and live
You don't
6
have to give up
smoothies.
your
What
desire.
you speak
In
is more
fact, your
important than how
desire is a
fast you
beautiful part of
speak.
who you are, even at
Laws
60,
that can
70,
change
80
how
years
you
old.
work and live
The
6
key is not to
smoothies.
eliminate
What you
pleasure,
speak
but
is
to
more
elevate
important
it.
than how
Start
fast
by
you
slowing
speak. What you
down.
speak is more important
Gentle,
than how
slow
fast
touch
you speak.
retrains the nervous
and live
system.
6 Laws that smoothies. can
Use
change
natural
what you
oils
speak
like
is more
coconut or
important than
almond
how
oil.
fast you speak.
Focus
What
on
you speak is
feeling,
more
not
important than how
finishing.
fast you
Let
speak.
it be an
Work and live
experience,
6
not a
smoothies. That can
task.
change how you work
Change
is
your
more important
posture.
than how fast you speak.
Instead
What
of
you
slouching
speak
in a
is more
chair,
important
try
than
lying
how
down or
fast how you
standing.
work and
Breathe
live 6
deeply.
laws that can change how
This
you
supports
work
your
is more
pelvic floor
important
and
than how
nervous
fast
system.
you speak. What you speak is
It
more
brings your
important
body
than
into
how
a
fast
relaxed,
how you
responsive
work and
state.
live 6
Avoid
smoothies.
porn,
What you
especially
speak
the
is more
extreme
important
porn.
than how
It
fast
conditions
you
your
speak.
brain
What
to
you
seek
speak is more
fantasy over
important than how
reality,
fast you
fast over
work
slow,
and live 6
isolation
laws
over
that can
connection.
change how you work
Instead,
and live
explore
6
your own breath,
smoothies.
your own
What you
imagination,
speak
your
is
own
more
memory.
important than how
This
fast
isn't
you
about
speak.
performance, it's about presence.
Laws that can change
It's about
how you
reconnecting
work
with your
and live
body as
6
a source of
smoothies.
life,
What you
not
speak
just
is more
release.
important than how
And if you want
fast
to go
you speak.
deeper, a 7-day reset can
Laws that
change
can
everything.
change how you work and live 6
The
smoothies.
7-day healing
What you
reset.
speak is more
I've
important
guided
than how
many men
fast
through
you
this
speak.
process, and what they discover
Laws that can
changes them,
change how you
not
work
just
and live
physically,
6
but emotionally
smoothies.
and
What you
spiritually.
speak is more important than
Here's
how
how it
fast you
works.
speak.
Days 1 to 2.
Laws that can change how
Abstain
you
from all
work and live
stimulation.
6
No
smoothies.
porn, no
What you speak
masturbation,
is
just
more
observe.
important than how fast
Journal
you
your
speak.
feelings and urges.
Laws
Become
that can
aware of
change
what's
how
driving the
you work
habit.
and live 6 smoothies.
Days 3 to 4.
What you speak is more
Engage in
important than how
slow, mindful
fast you
touch,
speak.
just once. Use
Laws
oil.
that can change
Focus
how
on the
you work
sensation.
and live 6
Don't
smoothies.
rush, don't
What
finish
you
unless it
speak is
feels
more
fully
important than how
connected.
fast you
This
speak.
reawakens sensitivity.
Laws that can change
Days
how
5 to
you
6,
work and
redirect
live
your
6
urges into
smoothies.
connection.
What you speak
Call a
is more
friend, take a
important than how
walk, do
fast
something
you speak.
nourishing. Let your
Laws
nervous
that can
system
change
learn that
how
pleasure
you
can
work
come
and
from
live
life,
6
not just the
smoothies.
body.
What you
Day
speak
7.
is more important
Reflect.
than how fast
How do you feel?
speak.
More alive?
Laws
Less
that can
reactive?
change how
More
you
emotionally
work and
present?
live 6 smoothies.
This reset
What you
isn't a
speak is
punishment,
more
it's a
important than
gift.
how
It's a
fast
return
you
to
speak.
wholeness. Final words
Laws
from
that
Dr.
can
Sara.
change how you work and live
You
6
are not
smoothies.
broken. You are not past your prime, and you are definitely not alone. What you've been feeling, confusion, disconnection, doubt, is not weakness. It's your body and soul asking for honesty. And now that you've listened, you can begin to shift. Masturbation doesn't have to be harmful, but it does need to be handled with care, especially as you age. You now know the risks. You also know the benefits. And
What
most
you speak
importantly,
is more important
you
than
know
how
that change
fast
is
you
possible.
speak.
You don't have to give
Laws
up your
that can
desire.
change how you
You just
work
have to
and
start
live 6
respecting it,
smoothies.
honoring
What you
your
speak
body,
is more
caring
important than
for
how
your
fast
energy,
you speak.
reclaiming the part of
Laws that
yourself
can
that never
change how
stopped
you
yearning
work
for
and live
connection,
6 smoothies.
vitality,
What you
and
speak
strength.
is more important than how
You
fast you
deserve a
speak.
body that feels good to live in,
Laws that can
a heart
change
that
how
feels
you work
connected,
and live 6 smoothies.
a mind that feels
What you
calm and
speak is
steady.
more important than how fast you speak.
Let this be your turning point.
Laws that can
And
change
if this
how you
message
work
spoke to
and
you,
live 6 smoothies.
share it with another man
What
who
you
may be
speak is
struggling
more
in
important than
silence.
how
Leave a
fast you
comment.
speak.
Speak your truth.
Laws
You
that
never
can
know who you
change
might
how
help.
you work and live 6 smoothies.
Together, we're building a
What you
space
speak
where
is
healing
more
is
important than
honest,
how fast
masculinity
you
is
speak.
respected, and
Laws
aging is
that can
not something
change
to
how you
hide,
work and
but
live 6
something to honor.
smoothies. What you
You
speak is
just
more
took your
important
first
than how
step.
fast you speak.
If this message touched something
Laws that can
inside you,
change how you
if it
work
helped
and
you
live
see
6
yourself with more
smoothies.
clarity,
What
more
you speak
compassion,
is
or
more
more
important
strength,
than how fast you
don't let
speak.
it end here.
Laws that
This
can
is just
change
the
how
beginning
you
of a new
work and
chapter in
live
your
6
health, your
smoothies.
confidence,
What
and
you
your
speak is more
masculinity.
important than
And
how
if you want
fast
more
you
honest,
speak.
respectful, science-backed
Laws that can
conversations
change
about
how
men's
you
health
work
after
and live
60,
6 smoothies.
then please
What
take
you
a moment
speak
to
is more
subscribe to
important
this
than how
channel.
fast you
Hit that
speak.
bell icon so you never miss another
Laws that
message
can
crafted
change
just
how
for
you
you.
work and live
Your
6
story
smoothies.
matters. Your
What
voice
you speak
matters.
is more
And
important
together
than how
we're building a
fast you
community
speak.
where no man has to walk this
Laws that
journey
can
alone.
change how you
You are
work
not
and live
fading,
6
you are
smoothies.
awakening.
What you
And I'll be
speak
here
is
to
more
guide you
important
every
than how
step of the
fast you
way.
speak.
Subscribe now and
Laws
let's
that can
reclaim your
change how
strength,
you
your
work
spark, and
and
your
live
sense of
6
self.
smoothies.